Happy talky, happy talk. Talk about things you like to do. You gotta have a dream. If you don't have a dream, how you gonna have a dream come true? Welcome if you're coming for the first time, and welcome if you're coming back. Hello. Ella Fitzgerald serenading us once again, talking about all things to do with happy talk. Just giving people another minute or so to come in. Happy talk. Talk about things you like to do. Sing it with me. If you don't have a dream, you don't have a dream. How you gonna have your dreams come true? Talk about a boy. Yes. Well, lovelies, here we are, day 3 of the 5-day Small Talk Fall in Love with Small Talk challenge. Who is starting to fall in love with small talk already? If you've been to some of the other days or watched the replays, tell me if you're starting to think, small talk is actually not so bad. Because small talk, as I said to you before, has a special place in my heart. It is hands down one of the only ways, really, to get into interesting conversations. So what have we looked at so far? Let's do a quick recap. So far we've looked at the confidence to initiate conversations anytime, anywhere, with anyone. That was from day 1. And that was the how to feel confident just going up to a complete stranger in any context and going, hey, and starting up a conversation. Now, if that gives you the heebie-jeebies, go check out the stuff from day 1. And day 2 was the secret of interrupting or joining existing conversations. So that's when, say you're at an event or a wedding or a meeting or a networking thing, and you're like, oh, that looks like a really good conversation, I really want to join. We went over how to do that, so that it's not awkward, so that you don't spend your whole time on the outside looking in. That's what we covered in day 2. And today, day 3, we are looking at the knack for taking bland small talk, when you got stuck in the small talk trap, into more interesting places. So using story especially, and responding to the person to take it into deeper places. So that's what we're looking at today. So this whole challenge is about falling in love with small talk, and its recipe for taking you into really joyful, interesting, complex, fun, dynamic conversations with anyone, anytime, anywhere. Yes. Okay. So let's have a little look at let's bust another communication myth, shall we? So conversation myth today, we're busting the notion, today we're going to bust the notion that small talk is only for the boring and the dull. When people hear the word small talk, they just go like, oh, so boring. When actually, small talk provides the reassuring bookends of a conversation. So indicating what kind of conversation you're starting, indicating that we're coming to the end of a conversation. You literally can't give those signposts without using small talk. And also, small talk is a wonderful way of signaling where we're going, what's happening, what kind of conversation this is as you move into a conversation. So our brains just love signals. They just eats them up all day long, right? So what you want to do by your small talk and the way that you use it is to provide signals for sensing places of resonance and giving signals for and receiving signals of where there are places of resonance with somebody you're talking with, right? So you can think of this as a bunch of kind of little flags and signposts that are going up, that you're giving, the other person's giving off, and you're trying to pick up on where do we have a touchstone of connection that we might drop into for a little bit. That's what we're doing. Little signposts, right? So even with your nearest and dearest, people you talk to all the time, it serves the same function. So you call somebody up and you're like, hey, have you got 5 minutes for a chat about da 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 da? Then they know, their brain just goes like, yeah. Or, can we do that later? Right? So you've given signals even to people you talk with regularly. It's super important. It really orients each of you in the interaction. So today we're going to really look at the structure for noticing, giving off, receiving, doing something with all of these signposts that are created by small talk. So first, you've got to notice that you have an impulse to, by the way, we're assuming that you're already in a conversation because we've done day 1 and day 2. So we are now in an interaction. We've said hello. We have created a shared context, and we are now going, oh, we might have a conversation happening. So this is the point that we're at now. So now I'm going to touch on it from both sides. So whether you are the person sharing something or you are the person listening and you're going to take something a bit deeper. So both sides are a really valid way for a conversation to go deeper. And there's no hard and fast rules or formula for that. It really is like who's got the story at the time, who's feeling like they've got something to share in that moment. But both people or all people involved in the interaction want to be responding or alive with wherever the conversation is going or coming up, right? Because it could arise in any of you. And it can come from the environment or internally or an inspiration point or whatever. So I'm not going to touch on that because it's really just life itself. So first thing is notice the impulse to share a story as the person who might offer something. So you are going to share something of yourself, of your life, your experience, an idea, whatever. So you notice the impulse to share something and you would seek permission to share a story. What you're checking is this the right time? Is there enough time? Are they interested in the subject you would be dropping into this interaction? So sharing a sort of headline around it. It's like, can I share something with you about an event I was at last week? That would be a headline, seeking permission way of checking that they want to go into this next bit, right? And pay attention to their response with all of your senses. So they might not be an emphatic yes or no, but they might be like yeah, okay. And they're kind of going, I'm interested, I'm willing to give time, sure. Or they're going, yeah. At which point you've got somebody who's pretty baffled. It might not be the right time. So you might go, look, no worries, we can do it some other time, right? So you do respond to the signals that they're giving off, because it's not just the small talk words that they say. It's in their whole being, they're always giving signals as to where and how to go to progress, okay? So that's that. And then you would share something and then they go back and forth and so now you're having an interaction back and forth. And then the other side, so you might invite them to share something. So this would look like, oh gosh, I'd love to hear more about fill in the blank on something they have mentioned, or that you've picked up on, or that is in your shared context. So I'd love to hear more about that time you spent working as a youth worker. Or gosh, I'd love to hear more about, or tell me more about how you ended up with this jacket because it's just so amazing. Oh, thanks. So you can kind of use the prompt on anything that's happening in the live conversation moment at the time. So invite them to share something. Again, it's a permission seeker, right? So you're saying, are you willing to? Is this the right time? Is there enough time? Are they interested to? Are they willing to? And it doesn't have to be a big deal. It's just literally, I'd love to hear more. No. By that, they have an opportunity to say yeah or no, or get out, or carry on, or whatever. So then we go into the how to respond to something that they say bit in order to take it a little bit deeper. Okay, so they share something, and this is a little three-parter here. So we go acknowledge. So first you validate that they've said something and what they've said, because it's really, that gives the person a feeling of, oh, they heard me. I was listened to, right? Which does feel so nice. If you think back to a time when you were listened to, I imagine it felt pretty nice. So acknowledging is the first piece, which is really, gosh, I love what you said about So, and then literally reference something that they've said, like picking up on the words that they used. Or it might be, oh, your enthusiasm for fill in the blank is so wonderful. I can really feel how much you love youth work, for example. Then you go into resonate. So part 2 is resonate, which is I get it. On some level, in some way, I'm with you. So this is the feeling of withness. So you've done acknowledge, they feel validated and heard. And now we go, oh, and I'm with you, you know, which might be, I really resonate with the challenge of finding the right sort of space to work in. Or it might be, oh, I know what it feels like to just keep trying and feel like you're getting nowhere. So in that, you're saying, I'm with you in some way, okay? And you can pick up on literally any bit of what they've said. And it might not be their exact experience that you resonate with, but on some level you resonate with how they feel in that sort of situation or whatever. Like, I'm no stranger to such and such, right? But you don't know their exact context, but you get it. On a human-to-human level, you get it. And you're sharing that you get it. So that's the resonate layer. And then here's the real trick to go somewhere else. So now you're going to go and extend, picking up and going like this bit, let's go here, right? So now you're going to go, what stands out to me is how you really lent into looking at these different spaces and followed your instinct to find this one. Like, how did you do that? Right? So that's that one. May I ask more about, and now you're going, I'm really interested in this little bit of what you just said. So they've shared something about being a youth worker, for example, and you go, your enthusiasm for your youth work is so wonderful. Really, I really feel it. I all found it really hard to work with young people, actually. And whilst I can tell you found it tricky, I also see how much you love it. May I ask more about the work that you do with them during the youth work, like in your sessions? And now you're going like, now you've taken the conversation, something that they shared, you are taking it somewhere where you have interest to find out more, right? And you're only asking about something that they've already shared, and trust that they will manage their own boundaries, because it's not your job to manage their boundaries on what they may or may not share, right? It's their responsibility. And so all you're doing is showing curiosity and interest, ideally with kindness. So you're not trying to probe or interrogate them, because that's just not a cool thing to do. You're showing curiosity and kindness and interest in something that they care about. And so you're riffing off the branches that they give you by what they say. Just pick up one of these branches and go, how about this one? Can we go further into this one? So now you're starting to go into more interesting places. So there are some beautiful benefits to stories we share or the receiving of other people's stories. And if you can get into that layer fairly quickly by noticing what they're giving off in their language, in their presence, in what they're doing, you can take a conversation quite quickly from, hey, how did you get to this event today? Into, starting to become something, to go somewhere, right? You're noticing the signposts that are popping up, and you're going, oh, let's go that way. Let's follow that signpost over there. I feel like I've got some resonance there with what you've just said, and I'm interested. Let's go. That's kind of what you're doing. So by sharing stories, or allowing them to share more stories and kind of going with their story, you help people sense where you are coming from. There's a lot that's transmitted in a story that can't be shared if you were to just stay in the information layer of like, oh yes, I got the bus, and no. You want to move into the more deeper layers of who we are. Stories sharing and story receiving also awakens and invites feelings of empathy between you. So it's the empathy layer awakens, and we start to feel things in the conversation, which allows us to be a bit more fully present with the interaction. And they're a wonderful way and a memorable way of sharing abstract and complex concepts. So if you were talking about, say, your whole business, for example, share a story about your business, about the way that you work in it, or a particular interesting job you had, because that will convey your values, how you feel about your work, how seriously you take it, how much you love it. All of those will be conveyed without you having to name them in some sort of like weird list, and it takes less time to do that. So these are ways of either sharing or receiving and taking further the signposts that you can use in an interaction. So give me a little thumbs up or a flurry of hearts if this is useful, making sense, landing with you. And yeah, share with me something that is that you're taking away from today. If any of you have got anything to share, lots of thumbs up, that's great, nice. And then what do you have a main takeaway from the knack of taking conversations into more interesting places? Using the signposts. Tell me more about, that's just such a banger. You can use that all day long. It's lovely. Fantastic. Hello, if you're just joining, we're just coming to the end actually, but do catch the replay, which will be up shortly. So tomorrow, tomorrow we have the magic of asking good quality questions. So today we looked at the signposting, receiving and giving signposts to move from small talk into places of resonance. And now we're going to go places of resonance into really juicy, interesting, perhaps brand new places by using good quality questions. And that's what we're doing tomorrow. And that would be day 4. So do tune in again for that at midday tomorrow. And I hope you're 3 days into falling in love with small talk, because it just is the best. Signposting, resonance seeking, permission giving. Oh, it's just so good. And big love, everybody. Have an awesome rest of your week, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. And we shall ride out again with the beautiful Ella Fitzgerald as before. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Let's go. Ooh. Oh well, Ella doesn't want to sing right now, so I'm just going to have to sing it for you. Who knows what's going on there? Happy, happy, talky, happy talk. Talk about things you like to do. You've got to have a dream. If you don't have a dream, how you gonna have a dream come true? Bye, everybody.